We got some DDD, Mayakashi, and a Necroz Dogmatika list, and a few little extra things in between for this video. Smash your living crap out, subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So, Ready for Duel had a little tournament, and I want to cover some of the lists that kind of caught my attention on the participation side of things. And we have Andres Torres's Necroz Dogmatika list for you guys. So, DDD. This was piloted by Gilmaro Caron. So this is triple copies of Artifact Lancia. No fun allowed for the dinosaur players in the room. One copy of DD Ghost. Triple copies of Lamia. Triple copies of the Necroz Slime. One copy of Orthros. Triple copies of Savant Copernicus. Triple copies of Savant Kepler. Triple copies of the Swirl Slimes. One copy of the triple DDD Chaos King Apocalypse. Triple copies of Abyss Ragnarok. Two copies of Drone Lockbird. That's kind of interesting. One copy of Vanity's Fiend. Spells, we have triple copies of Allure of Darkness. One copy of Called by the Grave. Triple copies of the Dark Contract with the Gate. One copy of Foolish Burrow. One Monster Reborn. One for one. Two copies of War Arthur. And one copy of Imperial Order, wrapping up the main deck. Extract down here, of course, we have the Abyss King Gilgamesh. One copy of Hulk. One copy of the Cross Sheep. One Shinshin. One Shooting Riser. One Satellite Warrior. One copy of Menaphis Horus. One Formula Synchron with one Gust King Alexander. One Curse King Siegfried. One Crystron Phoenix. One Crystal Wing. One copy of the Borrowed Savage. One Genghis. And the one Super Genghis. Then we have two copies of DD Crow. Two copies of Phantasmate, one Nibiru, two copies of Cosmic Cyclone, triple copies of Hadoken, one copy of Harvey's Feather Duster, and triple copies of everybody's favorite Dimensional Barrier. No fun allowed for Alistair and friends, the deck profile. Definitely an interesting take on DDD. It's pretty straightforward for what you want to do here. I do like the two copies of this and the two copies of Droll. I wish you could find more room, but you kind of have to bulk down on the better cards in your deck, which are, you know, these two, because these two basically just full combo start going burr against the opponent. So, alright, I like this. Next list here, we have Mayakashi. This is another interesting take. This was from Juan C. So you always kind of see your basic zombie decks. Obviously, you play good cards like this. Obviously, you kind of start branching into more things with like Zombie World and things. I kind of wish I would see him playing Rivalry in this. You know, kind of take advantage of the full abuse here. So we have two copies of the Daki, the Graceful Mayakashi. Two copies of Doom King Boulderdruck. Two copies of Effect Veiler. One copy of the Ghost of Mourner Moonlit Chill. Two copies of Glowbloom. One copy of Goizuki. Triple copies of Hajun. One copy of Jacoblan. This card definitely starts to come up a little bit more than I really expected from players wanting to play this. Guess it's a cool little tech choice for this deck. We have two copies of Mizuki, one Banshee, two Solitaire, one copy Spirit Master with the one Vampire Frau, and then we have two copies of Yuki Musume with one Called by the Grave, one Foolish Barrel, triple copies of Mayakashi Return, one Monster Reborn, one for one, triple copies of Popper Upper. I really do love when you kind of start to see these decks wanting to abuse the full draw engines of these decks. That way you're like, oh, hey, want to watch me turbo for more options here? It's free real estate. One Terraforming, triple copies of Zombie World, and triple copies of the Sword Slash, wrapping up the main deck here. Extra deck here, we have triple copies of Yukiona, one copy of Link Karibo, two copies of the Yoko, two copies of the Tsuchigungumo, two copies of Tengu, two copies of the Oboguruma, and two copies of Gosh Kongo, the Skeleton Mayakashi. And side deck here we have two copies of Denko Rekka, two copies of Gamma Seal, two copies of Ghost Ochre, one copy of Red Blossom, one Dark Hole, one Reasoning, triple copies of Anti-Spell, two copies of Different Dimension Ground, and one copy of Red Reboot, wrapping up Mayakashi for you guys. And the last list I have here for the RDY tournament here is Aeon's Pendulum deck. Now, Pendulum's still missing a little bit of support. We are getting their Link Monster in, what, September? Late August, I believe, for Dawn, somewhere along the way here. So, we have two Curtain Riser, one Artifact Scythe, one copy of Black Fang, triple copies of the Chronograph Sorcerer, one Double Iris Magician, triple copies of Harmonizing, one copy of the Basilisk, two Jackal King, triple copies of Mythical Master Cerberus, one copy of Oath Dragon, one copy of Purple Poison Man, two copies of Darkworm, one Gate Zero, one copy of Time Gazer, one copy of Tuning, triple copies of Wisdom Eye, one copy of Zinganki, and then we have 2 copies of Dragon Shrine, triple copies of Duelist Alliance, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Instant Fusion, triple copies of Pendulum Call, 1 Star Pendulum Graph, 1 Upstart, and 1 copy of the Time Pendulum Graph. Extra deck down here, we have 1 copy of Selene, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 IP, 1 Crystron Hulk, 1 Boral Sword Lad, 1 Borreload, 1 copy of everybody's favorite Dagda, 1 App, 1 Tornado, 1 Absolute Dragon, 1 TG Wonder, 1 Borreload Savage, 1 Odd Eyes Vortex, and 1 Millennium Eyes. And we have 1 triple DD King Supreme Kaiser King. If this card is Pendulum Summon, all face-up cards your opponent currently controls have their effects negated. Holy crap. Alright, until the end of this turn. Once per turn during the main phase, if this card is Pendulum Summon this turn, you target up to 2 cards in your spell and trap card zone, destroy them, and you do for each destroyed card, this card gains 1 attack during each battle phase. Holy crap. You really just Pendulum Summon this thing out, like, get a full negate and then just trash your opponent's field. That's busted. We have triple copies of Denko Sekka, 1 Pankratops, 2 Droll and Lockbird, triple copies of Seer Mode, 1 Called by the Grave, triple copies of Twin Twisters, and 1 copy of Red Reboot, wrapping up Aeon's RDY list. Now next up, we have the Spice from Andres Torres, featuring the new Nekroz of Breher. So we're going to summon this card with any Necroz ritual spell card without using any level 10 monsters, blah, blah, blah. So you can discard this card, tribute up to 2 Necroz monsters from your hand or field, and if you do, send that many Necroz cards from your deck to the graveyard. When a monster effect is activated, you can tribute 1 monster from your hand or field to negate that activation if you banish it. The only real thing we care about here is this boy is just 3,300 and gives us more board clearing. Alright, so we have triple copies of Dogmatika Virtual Ecclesia, 2 Maxi Pad, 1 copy of Manju, 2 copies of Shrip, 1 copy of a Bread Hair, and we have triple copies of Necroz of Brionic, 2 copies of Colossus, 1 Trishula, triple copies of Unicorn, 2 copies of Valk, triple copies of Hadoken, triple copies of Nadir Servant, 2 copies of Cycle, 2 copies of Kaleido, 2 copies of Mir, triple copies of Prosperity, triple copies of Prep, 1 Rhoda, and 2 Punishments. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Nephthist, 2 copies of Totally Awesome, 1 Daigusto, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Star Eater, 1 Shooting Quasar, 1 copy of Omega, triple copies of Herald, 1 copy of Cosmic Blazer, then we have 1 Titanclad, 1 Inentis, 2 Inentis, Then we have triple copies of Artifact Lancia, 2 copies of Denko Rekka, triple copies of Droll and Lockbird, triple copies of Nibiru, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, wrapping up an evolution for this deck, because honestly, this deck has kind of needed some fine-tuning. Bread Hair here definitely helped this deck a little bit. Obviously, like the Dogmatika package is a little bit more of a safer call, I would say, for this deck. And then the last, but not least for you guys here, I have a Chaos Thunder list. This was from Tim Lucas. He got 2nd place at his locals here. So we have 1 copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, 1 copy of Zephyros the Elite, 2 copies of Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, 1 copy of Chaos Emperor the Dragon of Armageddon, triple copies of Chaos Valk, 2 triple copies of Mothman, 1 Nessie, 1 Thunderbird, 1 Jack, 1 copy Galactic Spiral Dragon, 1 Shriek Clown, triple Raiden, 1 copy of Safort, triple copies of the Chaos Creator, triple copies of Thunder Dragon, triple copies of Thunder Dragon Dark, 1 copy of Dragonheart, 2 Matrix, 2 copies of Dragon Roar, 1 Wyvern Buster with 1 Wolf, and then we have triple copies of Velour, triple Chaos Base, triple Charge, 2 Dragon Ravine, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion, and triple Talents. Extra deck here, we have 1 Sorosha Roche, 1 Striker Boy, 1 Verte, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 IP, 1 Heavenly Spheres, 1 Rom, 1 App with 1 Photon, 1 Dugaris, 1 Hope Harbinger, Chaos Roller, Mr. Savage, and the 1 Titan. And then we have 1 Escantos, triple Phantasme Dingarisu, triple Dark Roller, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 copies of Awakening, triple copies of Twin Twister, and 1 copy of Red Rebuto, wrapping up Tim Lucas's 2nd place list out of his locals. So I just want to say, smash your ever-living crap out of the subscribe button. Please, guys, take some time out of your day. Leave a comment down below. I love reading the comments on what people think about these relatively interesting decks out there. And I will see the ever-living crap out of you later on in the day for some more cool, awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.